Action. So who are you?
I am Ali Purrier.
I'm Josh Newell.
My name is Alejandra Gonzalez.
I'm Claudia Cisneros.
My name is Neil Darnell.
I am Taylor Boyant.
I'm Kristen Camacho.
My name is Michael Muehlhaupt.
All right, so I'm gonna restart it. Action. Can we do it again?
Sure.
Okay.
I want to be a neurologist.
I'm an electrician here on Alkek.
I'm 30 years old and I'm a painting major.
I'm a communication design major.
I am a studio art major with a focus in painting.
I'm an artist, an arts educator.
I'm a communication disorder major.
What's that mean?
It's speech pathology and audiology, and I would like to go into audiology and do Doctors Without Borders.
I'm 23. I'm originally from Houston, Texas. I moved to San Marcos a couple years ago to actually follow a psychology major. And now I'm a ceramics major.
Who am I? It's a hard question.
I am married. I'm 30 years old. I'm from the Hill Country. That's about it, I guess. I work, I go home, and, don't get to do a whole lot else, but...
I love a lot of things,
Okay.
specifically like dogs.
Oh,
I
really?
have 3 dogs. I love my dogs. I
What
live for
kind?
my dogs.
I've always I knew I wanted to work with kids and I wanted to help them, and then when I went on my mission trip, I was like, I don't know, this is like what I want to do. I want to travel and help people who need it, who don't have access to it.
Who am I? I'm a woman. I'm Mexican.
I was born in Mexico, and I came here when I was 4.
I got out of the military and started doing artwork.
My degree is in sculpture.
Sure. But you do other mediums.
Yeah, I guess people refer to it as an object maker, maybe as a way of thinking about it a bit more broadly.
I'm a full-time cook. I'm a line cook. I plan on doing restaurant and cooking for most of my career. I want to work in fine dining. I want to make pottery.
I consider myself kind.
I help out with kids in kinder and first mainly.
I wanted to go to school, but then I couldn't because of my immigration status and stuff. So I did community college first, and I wanted to do a business degree because coming from an immigrant family and stuff, you always look to make more money so that you can help out your family.
I'm currently just taking my undergraduate classes. I'm actually preparing my portfolio to get ready to try and get accepted into the graduate classes. So
I started with aerosol art.
Oh.
So I ran into a person downtown San Antonio, and he was just sitting on the side of the road making these cool paintings just with spray paint and using fire. And it was just entertaining to watch. So I learned my own method to do things. So I started with that. Then I moved over just to acrylic paint and just progressed.
It's representational, so it's not necessarily figurative, but also it is maybe suggesting figures.
I really like the brain, neurons, and the process, how people act, and all the stuff that is going on in the brain, and how that makes people act, and how that makes you a good bot, depending on what the society considers good or bad.
I've always been really interested in art and painting and doing stuff like that. So then I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna do whatever I want to do.
It was October-ish of 2018, and I was sitting in a statistics class, and the professor, she was looking at the class. She was this very strong Russian woman, and she looked at us. She goes, "If you don't know what you're if you don't know what we're learning in this class right now and the one before, which I skipped, she was like, you basically don't know what's happening the rest of the semester. So you really need to be on it if you know this stuff." And I sat there and I was listening to the lecture. She could have been speaking Russian for all I care. And so I was sitting there and I realized that I was spending 15 to 20 hours outside of my normal classes in the studio when I was only a Ceramics 3 student and not majoring. I was also working full time as well. So I was spending all my time doing ceramics and working didn't give a single shit about psychology.
When I came in my first year, I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I wanted to be undecided. But my advisor advised me not to do that. So I was a history major. So the first 2 years I did all of my basics, and I started one of my history classes that I was going to need, and I hated it.
I had a high school coach of mine from high school, and he contacted me because he knew that I painted, and he was like, hey, how would you like to do some murals for the school? And I was like, yeah, that would be great. So I ended up doing murals for that whole summer, and I was getting paid. So that was kind of, my mom was like, oh, okay, you can make some money off of this.
So my mom, she just said, like, she'd rather me study something that I'm happy in than waste another fucking $20,000 on something that I'm not.
I'm mostly abstract. Right now I'm working on like geometric abstraction and incorporating math into that, so it's fun.
I'm doing a lot of ceramic processes recently, thinking about bodies. So in a way it's figurative, but just not directly.
I like how people think and
Yeah.
how different they are,
Mm-hmm.
and how everything could shape people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their childhood, any accidents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I think it's pretty important how you treat people since they're little,
That's
or
right.
when they're on their mother body.
Mm-hmm.
It just changed everything.
That's right.
The mother could shape everything, even the sperm.
What was it like growing up in the hill country?
It was great. I a lot of river time, fishing, hunting, hanging with buddies. You know, I loved it. I loved the small town thing myself.
I've ridden bikes for my whole life.
I've been around art pretty much my whole life. My grandma was an
I
artist.
was really into BMX biking when I was a kid, but now I just like ride my bike as a way to like decompress.
And I want to like travel and go help the kids who need it.
So I'm under DACA.
Okay.
So we came here with like a visa, but as soon as the visa expires, you're considered illegal. So there's like, you don't have like a social security number, and a lot of time, that's what you need to basically do anything, to get a job, to like go to school.
I have a partner, Rachel, who I've been together since undergrad.
I've been married about 2 months actually.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
newly married, yeah, newlywed.
She is from Miami. We met in Richmond, Virginia, and have since kind of had parallel lives.
So I competitively weightlift. I'm a weightlifter.
She's also a sculptor. We own a cat, our cat child.
Yeah.
His name is Moon, and so he's a real treat to have around.
With the DACA that came into effect, I think it was like 2008, they provided a social security number. You have to renew it every 2 years. So every 2 years I have to like submit an application again and do all this whole process. But it's like a big help because at least I'm able to come to school and get some financial aid and stuff. So
I went to college for a little while at Texas Tech, so I didn't graduate because I started working.
Yeah.
I was one of those kids who never really had a major. I was just knocking basics out, and I just, as student loans piled, I started wondering what's the point, you know? So I went another route.
Communication design caught my attention because I've always felt I was a creative person. I knew I didn't want to do kind of like a sit at the desk type of job. I wanted to be able to go around, get inspired.
I've been making music for about 8 years now as well. So I do that. I DJ. So just whatever more creative outlets I can.
I love working with my hands, and I love producing products and producing products for people to enjoy and appreciate, and like being able to create something from nothing as basic as literally like a lump of clay or like a list of ingredients and just food in front of me. Like I love being able to figure out how to puzzle something together, create a really beautiful product for someone to enjoy.
I have a younger sister who's goes to San Marcos High School. She's a dancer there, and me and my mom are in charge of the media. So we take photos at football games, competitions, events, and we also take videos of like the girls. And then we just post them for all of the parents.
More than half of my family is in Mexico, so we can't really visit. So they would have to get a visa, and then sometimes they come visit us, and then they just go back, you know. But yeah, we can't travel. We have to stay here.
When did you come to the United States?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Did you learn English as a child?
No,
Really?
I've been learning English in these 2 years. In reading,
Yeah.
helps me a lot. Videos,
Mhm.
music. I enjoy really music.
Wonderful.
And people.
I try to keep to myself mostly.
Yeah.
I'm not that good with large groups of people, so it's like, you know what? I'll be behind the DJ decks and let everyone else enjoy. I'll just control the music.
Yeah.
So it's me being involved without being involved.
I like sleep.
Also, like, I garden. I really like growing things.
Sleep is something I don't get a lot of, so I really cherish it when I get it.
A lot of times they think of immigrant, and they have like a stereotypical like image of what they look like, and then you hear them talking about topics like immigration, and it's like you don't know what you're talking about.
I was Navy Reserve.
Navy Reserve?
Yeah.
What'd you think of that?
Yeah, for me it wasn't the right thing to
Yeah.
do.
I'm vegetarian. I'm gonna be dairy free by next year, so I plan on like working my way into veganism slowly.
It was fun at first, and things happen and circumstances change.
This is my only semester that I've taught at Texas State, which I found super interesting. I really like seeing what people are up to who are like similarly interested in, I guess, what I've invested quite a bit of time in.
I work at HEB. Yeah, I work in the curbside department, so I think I just like working with the people there, getting to interact with people.
The world feels like the whole world wherever you are, if that makes sense. And so it's nice to kind of like dip in periodically and see what other people are thinking about, specifically as close to like UT Austin, which is where I was teaching the last couple of years before here.
Do whatever makes you happy. Don't try to please other people, because if you're not happy with what you're doing, it's gonna lead you down a very dark path. So if you're happy with what you're doing, stick with it.
I guess I hang out with my sisters because I have two sisters and a brother, but he's gone. So it's just me and my sisters. We just hang out at the house. We really like watching Disney movies.
Choosing like art school later in life, I think, is always a very interesting choice because it's not a super practical one. Like, it's one that you can deal with as you get older and adjust, but like doing it in reverse is complicated, and so it's nice to like get to talk to people who are like kind of coming to it from something, and like, I don't know, that everyone has like a nice perspective on, it's like not just like being a student, it's like a life decision.
I really care about the environment. I think it's important to care about it.
Yeah, like, because I do want to do like foster. Like, I want to grow up and foster kids. Like, having kids is not like my main goal. Like, I'd rather foster them.
The goal is to, be somewhere high in leadership one day and,
Sure.
Exceed what the normal wages are.
There's like some kind of underwriting motivation that's not just like going to school.
I have to pick a focus eventually.
Art school isn't known for its job placement post-graduation.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. Like, I'm
What's
a good
most
person.
important to you in life at this point?
Establishing like my career and like being successful, so I have the opportunity to help other people.
As long as you're happy with what you're doing in life, then keep going.
Anything's possible, though, I guess. See where life takes me.